Hi, first graders. It's Mrs. McGurl. And for math today, we're going to start by looking at our December calendar. You'll notice that we have, for the first day of December, a jar of peanut butter. On the second day of December, we have a box of crayons. And on the third day, we ended up with some grapes. We've been talking about some three-dimensional shapes, and that's what each of these is representing, a different three-dimensional shape. The first jar of peanut butter, the first picture here, is showing us a cylinder. And I'm going to hold up another example of a cylinder. A cylinder has a flat bottom that is like in the circle shape, and it has curved sides. So we can call the peanut butter container a cylinder shape. Say cylinder, cylinder. When we look at the crayons have rectangles. If you look at all the faces or all the sides, there's rectangles. This is a rectangular prism. And I'm going to hold up a rectangular prism. You see different rectangles on it. And that's the three-dimensional shape called the rectangular prism. Try saying that. Rectangular prism. Then when we go to the grapes, each little grape is a round circle, and the term for that is a sphere. Can you say sphere? Good, sphere. Well, today we're going to flip over number 4 for Friday, and look what we have. We have some blocks, but the arrow is pointing to the little blocks that look like cubes. And in fact, that's the name of our three-dimensional shape, cube. And I have one right here that's red. You see a lot of squares. Every side is the same. It's the same size, and they're all squares. And that's the same shape as what we use to play games with. We play with dice. And so each one of the dice would be a cube. So let's now move ahead to how many days we've been in school. We've been keeping track by marking off boxes, and we've got some rows of 10. So we can count each row that's filled up to the top by 10. Let's begin. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And now we count by ones. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. I'm going to go over here, and now I'm going to mark 69 for today. Look at, we're at 69 days, only one more day, and we'll have another 10 filled in. So please remember we're at 69, because when I go to the very next page, we're going to have to remember we have to make this a 69. It's 68, and so we can keep the 6, but I need to erase the 8 and then make a 9. So here we go. I'm going to go up to my crayon tool, and I got to draw my 9. Yes, we've been in school 69 days. Wonderful. Okay, so now I'm going to use my hover cam, and we are going to do a little bit of a review, because today you're going to have a checkpoint, and I'm going to need you to get some paper and a pencil or your whiteboard and marker. And if you don't have it handy, then just push the little pause button and then come back. I'm just going to cover some of this up so we're focused on one of our number lines at a time. And we spent quite a bit of time trying to talk about the halfway mark on some number lines. The number line I have in front of me starts with a 0 and it ends at 10. And so this little box is in the middle. And so we need to know what number would be halfway between 0 and 10. If you're thinking, you know you have 5 fingers and 5 more make 10, then 5 and 5, the middle of number 5 would be halfway. Because if you double 5, you end up on 10. Or if you count by 5s, you'd say 5, 10, and that's how you would know. Let's go down to the next one. Now we start at 0, and we want to know what's halfway to 20. Or what two numbers make 20? What's halfway? 10 is halfway. Yay! Good job. Okay. Do you know the number that's halfway to 100? Because we have 0, something, 100. You can try writing it down. Can you say it? Yes. If you wrote and said 50, that is halfway to 100. So now, this is the last one of these. This number line starts at 10. And so what's halfway between 10 and 20? It can't be another count of 10 because we jumped 10 up to 20. And if you know that 5 was halfway to 10, this is going to have a 5 in the ones place. It's not 5 because you go 0, 5, 10, but then it's 15 and then 20. So between 10 and 20, the halfway mark is 15. The next thing is we've also had to try to figure out what number comes next in a pattern. So when I look, I see 3, 4, blank, 6, 7, 8, blank, blank. Well, I can tell 3 and 4 are like counting by ones, and 6, 7, 8 are still counting by ones. So I want to figure out, will it make sense if I just put one more? 3, 4, and one more would be 5. It would make sense. Then 6, 7, 8. You write the last two numbers. See if you can do one more and one more. Check your answer. 9 and 10. Yes, good job. Okay, the next one. We are in the teens now. We're starting with a 1 in the front. So this is 15, blank, 17, 18, blank, blank, 21. Oh, so we did transition from the teens to the 20s. But let's look at the pattern. 1, 5, blank, 1, 7, 1, 8. Do you know what comes after 15? Write it down. 1, 6, which is 16. 15, 16, 17, 18. And write the next two numbers, please. 19. All right, are you getting it? And this is where it changes to the 20s. After 19, we put 20, which is a 20. Okay, the last row is the most challenging of all. This row, we have 100s. This is 110, 112, 113, 115. And what I tried to do was I tried to put a little line to show you 110 is 1 with a 10. 112 is 1 with a 12. 113 is a 1 followed by a 13. 115 is 1 followed by the 15. So since these are 100s, I'm going to start with a 1. And after 110, it should be 111. And I just make my 11. Then 1 followed by 12 is 112. 1 followed by 13 is 113. Follow the pattern and get the next number. There's 115 and the final number. And then you can check by looking up here when you're done. $114 and $116. Yay! Good job. Okay, you can put your pencils and your markers down for just a minute because I want to talk about different number lines. I'm going to put up 2 different number lines. And the first number line, when I look at it, I see that it starts at 0 and it counts by ones all the way up to 10. And I have a math problem we're supposed to do. It says 6 plus 2. I'm going to get a purple marker so you can see what I'm going to do. I want to start on 6, so that means I put a little mark there. And I have to add 2. So I'm going to go hopping 2 places, but I'm going to go to the bigger numbers because we're adding. So 6 and hop, hop is 2 hops. I landed on this number, and that number is 8. So I'm going to make my answer at the end of the equation. Now look at the next one. My next number line starts at 0, just like that, but it has a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. This number line is different in that it's counting by tens. Each jump is a count of 10. And this time I have to start on 60, and I'm going to add 20. So remember, when I do one jump, I'm counting 10. In another jump, I'm counting 20. So I went from 60 and 10, 20 more. Where did I land? That number is 80. Yes, I landed on 80. Now let's look at these math problems. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 60 plus 20 equals 80. Do you see anything kind of alike in those math problems? Yes, they both had a 6. And they both had a 2. And the answers both had an 8. Well, 6 plus 2 equals 8. And when we look at this, the 6 is followed by a 0, the 2 is followed by a 0, and then the 8 is followed by a 0. When they added a 0 at the end of those numbers, you needed to add a 0 at the end of the 8. So basically what this is saying, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 60 is really 6 tens. Like those sticks of 10 cubes, like we stack the Unifix cubes. And 20 is really 2 tens. 2 of those long sticks. And then they equal 8 tens. So 6 tens and 2 tens equals 8 tens, and 8 tens is the number 80. Okay, so now we need to go back to either whiteboards or paper, okay? Or actually, if I forgot, you might have your math papers because that's what we're actually going to be using. Page 24 and page 25 from your math books. If you don't have them, then you can write down these these addition problems and figure them out later. But if you have the math papers, it's 24 and 25 with the number lines from our regular Bridges math book. If you need a pause to find it, just push the pause button and then come back when you're ready. Okay? Today, we are going to practice doing some addition and subtraction on the number lines. And these number lines are all counts of 10. So we're going to be using some of the bigger numbers. I would like for you to write this math addition equation. 30 plus 20 equals. Okay? So when we do this equation, we could start at 0 and do a really super big jump to 30, but basically we know that's the number we're going to start at. So I just want to start on 30. I'm going to put my little marker starting on 30, and I'm going to add. So add means I'm getting bigger, so I'm going to go up the numbers to the right. I'm going bigger, and I'm going to add 20. So remember, because this is a tens number line, the first jump is worth 10, and the next jump is worth 20, or it's another 10, 10, 20. So I started on 30, and I added 20 more. This is where I stopped. What is our answer? 50. So then you would write 50. 20 plus 30 equals 50. Now on the next number line, above the number line, I want you to write this equation. Write 50, 50, take away or subtract 20 equals. And so basically we're going to start on 50, and I put my marker. And when we do the takeaway or subtract, we have to go to a smaller number. So we're going to hop backwards, and we're hopping backwards 20. So the first jump is 10, and another 10 is 20. 2 hops of 10 is 20, and this is where we landed. So our answer is 30. Now, when I look at these two equations, they kind of go together. 30 plus 20 equals 50. But then if you start at 50 and you take away 20, you end up on 30. So addition and subtraction are related. They're kind of alike. Let's try the next one. Will you please write the equation 50, 50, plus 20, 20, equals. Okay, we're going to start on the first number, which is 50, so I put my dot. Plus, we're going to get bigger. We're adding on 20, so that's hop up 10 and another 10. That's 20 hops. Where did I land? We're on number 70. So 50 plus 20 equals 70. And now I want you to go to the very bottom and write 70 take away 20 equals. See if you know where to start. After you're done writing, put your marker where it needs to be, the little dot. 70 take away 20. If you're taking away, make sure you go backwards 20. You can try it without me. What'd you get? 50. That is right. So look at 50 plus 20 equals 70, and 70 minus 20 equals 50. Very similar. They're related to each other. So now you're going to turn and go to page 25. 25 are still some more tens number lines, counts of tens. And so for this one, I want you to write 40 plus 40 equals. Then I want you to go to the next one and write 80 take away 40 equals. And then you're going to write 50 plus 40 equals. And the last one, 90 take away 40 equals. So I'm going to slide this down so you can see them all. If you don't have all of these written, pause it so that you can finish writing your equations. So now I'm going to ask that you go ahead. If you're ready to go, I'd like you to try to do 40 plus 40. I'm not going to show you where to start. I want you to try it. Okay, let's look. The first number is 40 plus 40. I've got to go up 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. 40 plus 40 equals 80. Hey, if you knew 4 plus 4 is 8, look at, there's the 8 with a 0 behind. That's another way of looking at it. So now you're going to try to do 80 take away 40. You need to start on the number line and do your hops. Okay? Let's start on 80. Take away 40. You need to go backwards. 10, 20, 30, 40. We're on 40. Very good. Now the last two, I want you to figure out on your own. And then when you're done, you can see if a parent or an older brother or sister could check it over for you. Okay? Thank you, and I will see you later on when we have our small groups today. Bye-bye.